a lot of the ladies in the group, I got to a point in my life where I was just like, I can't live like this any longer. And again, I'd had counselling, I'd had different therapies and things, and they hadn't worked for me. I'd come out of counselling sessions, and like earlier said, you'd still feel the same as when you went in. You just opened up and let everything out, but then as soon as you get home, it's all back up. You're all topped up again, and it's all there again. And you're not getting rid of it. So Debox for me has been absolute amazing part of my life the last 2 years. I mean, because I've obviously been with you for 2 years now. It's been one of the most amazing things that I've done, because if it wasn't for Debox and UJ, then I don't know where I'd be today. Um, yeah, it's been amazing, and like you say, we've stuck with it. I've come to the Zooms. I've practiced all the time, so I've got the skills down to a T now. And I'm still deboxing now. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, Jay. You still get triggered by things, and I just go in and do it now. It's just natural, just a natural thing to do. It's like, whereas before you're a bit unsure, aren't you, of whether it's going to work and things like that. But now if I'm triggered and I get that emotion there, I just basically I don't even leave it. I do it if I can do it there and then I'll do it. And 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, you're feeling a completely different person again. I'm not a person that gives up easy. Do you know what I mean? With things,
Mm.
I'll keep trying and trying, because, like I said, this was my last. This deboxing was the last thing that I, could try to see if it worked. Because I've been through everything else and it hadn't worked. But yeah, and now you've got the skills for life. Do you know what I mean? And you can just go in and do it because you know how to do it, and because we've practiced that much. You've got those skills now, so you can just, whenever you feel triggered or emotion building up or whatever, you can just go in and find it. I mean, a lot of the time for me, I didn't even know what I was deboxing. Do you know what I mean? I didn't. It was just either, like with the movie technique, I didn't necessarily know what I was deboxing. It just, there was something. So yeah. So even now I look back and I think, I don't remember deboxing that, or it didn't come up to the surface what I was actually deboxing. But like you say, does it does it really matter? It doesn't if it's making you feel better. Yeah, for me, it's just amazing. Do you know what I mean? The amount of years that I've spent in turmoil before I did this is just crazy. And then, within 2 years, I found something that uh, I've actually been able, and it's helped me to be able to release a lot of that trauma that I've been through. Um, that's been in, my subconscious mind, and like I say, some of it I don't even know that I've deboxed. It's obviously, but when I've looked at my lists and things, that how I react to that has just disappeared. So, when you've spent, quite a few years of your life feeling like a lot of us have, and then in 2 years you've found something, and you've taught yourself, you've taught us to do it, and then we've taught ourselves how to do it. You know, now you can just go in and do it wherever and whenever you feel like you need to do it. I think there is, because, near enough everybody's been through some kind of trauma in their life. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Everybody could do with debox, couldn't they? But
Yeah.
some people won't admit that they've been through stuff and it's made them how they are, and they need that. But we've obviously admitted that we needed something to help us, because like I said, before I started this 2 years ago, I was just like, without this, I just don't know where I'd be today, because yeah, I got to the point where I just, like, I hit a brick wall, just couldn't go any further with anything. Nothing else was working for me. So at least now I know I've got all these skills, and been educated really well and with everything, and I can just go in and do it when I feel rubbish.